What is going on, everyone? PokeDJ here. So today we're going to be talking about something that's very important but not really touched on when you watch these investment videos, and that is exiting your investments, exiting your collection. Now, this is not an exaggeration. 99% of the time, you're not going to get full market price for your collections. And that's just the way it works. People are in no hurry to pay full market price for a modern product. Now, if you tell me you have something that's black and white era, diamond and pearl era, okay, maybe I'll concede that you can get 100% of market. But other than that, for the vast majority of the time, you're going to be sitting at around 80 to 85% of market. If you have booster boxes and ETBs and premium product, if you have ancillary product, you could really see 70 to 75% of market. Again, that is if you try to liquidate it all today, this week, this month, relatively quickly. Now, the first thing I want to discuss is obviously this is not a stock. I really have to drive that home because this isn't something where you see your portfolio grow to 75 grand, let's say 50 grand, 20 grand, whatever it is, a large 5-figure, 4-figure number. This is not something where you just tap a button and all of your shares are gone. Getting rid of this stuff, selling it, takes active time, and by no means is it passive at all. You're going to be on OfferUp, you're going to be on Facebook groups, you're going to be on eBay possibly, trying to sell your collection. And even if you do get an offer that you want, it's more than likely not going to be for the full amount of your collection. People are going to want to pick and choose. They're going to want to get a deal. They're going to want to get it for at least 80% in my experience. Some will even offer, actually the vast majority will even offer lower than 80%. Now, in addition to that, when this product is sitting in your closet, in your house, in storage lockers for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you need to be thinking about your exit strategy. Are you going to sell on eBay? Are you going to go to your local shops? Are you going to go on Facebook Marketplace? Are you going to go on Facebook groups? Are you going to go on OfferUp, etc.? These are all things you need to be thinking about. Have you been establishing yourself on eBay? Because a eBay account with 100 reviews, 200 reviews can demand 100% of market, where let's say a brand new eBay account may only demand 90% of market, 95% of market. And then when you subtract the fees, the shipping, etc., the taxes, you're going to be at 80% or lower. These are all things you need to be thinking about. Personally, my favorite way to sell sealed product is going to my local card shop. We have one local card shop here who pays 80% consistently. Now they buy so much product, they don't always buy. So maybe 1 week or 2 weeks out of the month or a month out of the year, they may not be buying anymore because they've bought so much product. But we do have a shop like that. And I know everyone's not as fortunate to have that. I know all of our other shops are around 60 to 70%. So it's not like we have a surplus of shops doing that, but we do have one. So you may want to be thinking about that. You may want to think about the fact, are you comfortable meeting with people you have never met for a $10,000 deal on Pokemon cards? Now, in my personal experience, the community is amazing. I've never had any problems making thousands of dollars worth of deals with, generally random people that I see on Facebook groups, Marketplace, OfferUp, etc. Obviously you're going to look at the account, make sure it has good reviews, make sure it's a real person, etc. But I've never had a problem, so the community is fantastic. But that's not to say it's impossible that you can't be robbed, that something wrong can't happen, because it can happen and it has happened to people before. So while your collection is collecting dust sitting in your closet, you need to understand that your 70K collector value is not actually 70K. If you're being objective, it's probably $56,000 to $60,000 worth, and it's going to take a lot of time to piece it out, to sell it, to find the right buyer for it. And additionally, when you start holding these blue chip booster boxes, like an Evolving Skies booster box, like a Team Up booster box, like a Phantom Forces booster box, yes, you have the creme de la creme of a given era, but at the same time, when the value of your product goes up so substantially like this, the buyer pool that you have access to also dramatically decreases. Now, would I still rather own an Evolving Skies booster box over any other booster box in that era? Yes, I would. There's absolutely no doubt about that, but it's just something to consider. The people who are willing to buy a $200 booster box is drastically larger than people willing to buy a $3,000 booster box. Another thing is, how are you storing these products? Because whether you can get 100% market or 90% of market or 85% of market later down the line, years and years on, is how minty is your product. Because if you're selling to a collector, he's going to want an absolute mint product, especially if he's shelling out hundreds if not thousands of dollars. So how are you storing this product? Obviously you probably have it in the closet or something, but is it bubble wrapped? Is it taken care of properly? Do you have dehumidifiers? Are you keeping the plastic nice? Now, it may sound weird to consider these small little details, but these details will matter later on in the future, nature when you're trying to price something at mint prices, but it's not actually mint. Now here I actually pulled up a random collection from the collector app, and I just really want to emphasize like how easy it is to go on here and look at your collection value. And let's say in this scenario, it is $60,000. Now that's amazing to look at. I guarantee you this person is up massively over the last 2 years, which obviously they made money. Even if they sell at 80%, they made money. But when you're looking at your total portfolio value like this, if you're being objective, if you're being honest with yourself about this and trying to manage your investments properly and understand what you have and what you don't have, when you see $60,000 like this, it should really register into your mind. Okay, this is actually $48 to $51,000 if I try to liquidate it. And if I did try to liquidate it for that price, it's still going to probably take me weeks and weeks, months and months of haggling, of constant communication with people, with vetting people, and going through the whole nines. And again, I kind of make that sound like it's a bad thing. It's not. I've done this before. Like I've said, I've sold 5 figures worth of sealed product before. So I know the time that it can take. I know the frustration that can happen when you're constantly getting lowballed. When I pull up my collection on Collector or wherever I may track it, I know I'm going to be pricing it for about 25% less than what I have as the overall market price. And it really helps me gauge where I'm at as a collector and just keeping it objective and honest with myself. And even here we have a phenomenal collection of Sun and Moon booster boxes, Evolving Skies. This guy would still probably get 80-85% of market if he sold everything. It's just about understanding your entire portfolio. Now with that being said, I still absolutely love investing in sealed Pokemon cards. There is some headaches like I just went through in the video of how you're going to sell, of who you're going to sell to, and it's not necessarily a deterrent. It's just something to keep in mind as you start to build a large collection. Even for a huge investor like Alpha Investments, let's say he owns $5 million, $10 million worth of Pokemon cards, that's still a nightmare to get rid of all at once. And it kind of scales down to the regular person, because whether you're getting rid of $60,000 worth of product or $5 million worth of product, it's a lot of physical space, physical product, and there's a lot of logistics that go behind exiting your investment. And it's actually not that difficult, but you just want to think about your exit strategy while you hold this product and make sure that you're taking care of it so that when you want to sell in 5 and 6 and 7 years, you can get full mint prices. But anyways, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have an amazing week. And if you liked the video, please hit the subscribe button.